Hello student armies, welcome back to Diksha Vedantu channel. This is your biology master teacher Navya, and today we will be solving some of the important competency based question from the chapter life processes as well as from the chapter control and coordination. Right? So today we will be practicing the competency based question from both of these chapters. Along with competency based question, I will also be discussing some of the case study based question as well in this particular session. Okay. So yeah, before starting the session, once I would like to confirm that am I audible? Am I audible, students? Let me check that once. Discussing some of the case study based. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, we'll start with our first question. Okay. From the life process chapter. Fine. Okay. So, the first question is identify P, Q and R in the given figure. Okay. So, you can see that P, it is somewhere pointing your buccal cavity, and Q is pointing towards, you can clearly see that it's stomach, and R, you can see that it is large intestine, right? So now in what is present, which type of gland is present in our buccal cavity? Can anyone say that which type of gland is present in buccal cavity? It is salivary gland, right? So P is indicating salivary gland, Q is indicating stomach, and then the R is indicating large intestine, right? So what is the right answer? P is salivary amylase, Q is stomach, and R is large intestine, right? So option B is the right answer. Okay, so it was easy one. This was easy question. We will be starting with the easier one, and then we will solve some of the complicated. We will discuss some of the complicated question as well. Okay, so this one was easy, so I answered. So from the next questions, I want you all to answer. Okay, so here the second question is, the given figure is a demonstration of an experiment to show that carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Okay, what is the substance X that is kept in the watch glass? Okay, so I have already discussed this experiment when I was doing the activity questions. I conducted a session, right, wherein I have explained all the activity questions. Over there I had discussed about this particular experiment. Right, what are they doing in this particular experiment? See, they are taking a healthy plant, okay, and then it is closed by a jar, right, and then within this setup you can see there is a watch glass, and over there they were placing a substance. Why? So that substance, it was capable of absorbing the carbon dioxide. It was capable of absorbing the carbon dioxide, that chemical substance. Then what happens? What happens to the plant? It's because the carbon dioxide is not available, because the chemical that is placed in this substance, it absorbs all the carbon dioxide in this atmosphere that is present within this jar. Right. Then what happens? There is no carbon dioxide that is available for the plant. If the carbon dioxide is not available for the plant, then what happens? The plant cannot perform photosynthesis. If plant cannot perform photosynthesis, then what happens? The plant will not get food. Then the plant will eventually die. Right. So this experiment was indicating the importance of carbon dioxide. So which is that substance that was kept in watch glass that had the capacity to absorb the carbon dioxide? Can you name them? Hi Priya. Good morning. Good afternoon. Okay. So can you all name, students, which is that chemical substance that is kept in watch glass and that is capable of absorbing carbon dioxide? Is it potassium hydroxide, or is it sodium bicarbonate, or option C says sodium carbonate, and option D says potassium sulfate. So which one is that? Let me make it easier for you all. I'll remove this. So option B and option C is ruled out. Okay. So option A says potassium hydroxide and option D says potassium sulfate. So the right answer is, it is potassium hydroxide. The potassium hydroxide, it is capable of absorbing the carbon dioxide that is present in this particular environment that is created within the jar. And then what happens? There will be no carbon dioxide that is available for the plant, and then what will happen? The plant cannot perform photosynthesis and the plant will eventually die. Okay. So what is this potassium hydroxide actually doing? This potassium hydroxide, it is capable of capturing carbon dioxide, and then what is it doing? It forms carbonate. It forms carbonate. When the carbonate is formed, it is not available for the plant. Carbon dioxide is not available for the plant. That is what this potassium hydroxide is doing. Okay, clear with that? Fine. So we'll move on to the next question. Given below are the events of photosynthesis. Okay, identify which of the following is or are not true and select the correct option. Okay. So Harish, you're welcome, Harish. Okay. So the first statement says absorption of light energy by chlorophyll pigment. Yes, absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, it is a true statement. So this statement is true. Okay, fine. Second statement says that the conversion of light energy to chemical energy and then splitting up of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate and oxygen. Is this statement true? See, the first half is correct. Yes, this one is right. Conversion of light energy into chemical energy. But what about that? Then what happens after the conversion of light energy into chemical energy? Whether it was carbon dioxide that was split into carbohydrate and oxygen. Is this true, students? Is this true? No, this is false. This statement is false, because after the light energy was converted to chemical energy, that chemical energy will split the water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen, and then the oxygen is released into the environment, whereas the hydrogen that is released after splitting up of water molecule, that hydrogen will reduce carbon dioxide. Okay, so Harish is answering option A and Sudesh option D. Okay, so here they are asking, identify which of the following is or not. It is not true. It is not true. So Harish is answering option C. Yes, option C is the right answer. Okay. No, wait. See, the reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. The carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate. That is true, right? This is true. Carbon dioxide is reduced to the carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate by the action of H+. This is true. Whereas look at the fourth statement, the conversion of chemical energy to radiant energy. Is that true? Whether did you see anywhere in the photosynthesis the conversion of chemical energy? No, right? See, the light energy was converted to chemical energy, and then that chemical energy was splitting the water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so this statement is false because it is saying that the conversion of chemical energy to radiant energy. No, the radiant energy is the energy which is produced by the magnetic field. Okay, so this is completely different. So what are the statements which are actually not true? It is second statement and fourth statement. So second and fourth is option D. Yes, Sudesh had answered right. It is option D is the right answer. Okay, clear with this? Harish, do you have any doubt in this section? If you have any doubt, you can feel free to comment in the comment section. Okay, so shall we move on to next question, students? Okay, so now identify the type of nutrition that is exhibited by the given figure. Okay. It's okay, Arish. That's what you should be careful. Now it's fine. In your examination, you should be really very careful when you are reading the question. Read and understand, then you should answer. Okay. Fine. So now here you can see there is bread. Here there is bread. On top of bread you can see, you will see now if the bread is spoilt, you will see that dark greenish in color or black color thing growing. What is that? That is fungi, right? That is fungi, right? So now the fungi, what is the mode of nutrition? Is it autotrophic mode of nutrition, or is it saprophytic, or is it parasitic or symbiotic? So Sudesh, right? Yes, Sudesh says option B. Yes, Sudesh, it is option B is the right answer, that is saprophytic mode of nutrition. See, it is not autotrophic. Who performs autotrophic mode of nutrition? It is plants and blue-green algae. Some of the bacteria species, some of, example blue-green algae and all that. Okay, they perform photosynthesis, right? Through photosynthesis they prepare their own food. That mode of nutrition is autotrophic mode of nutrition, and they are autotrophs. Saprophytic mode of nutrition is performed by certain microorganisms only, like fungi, wherein they derive nutrients from the dead organism and all that, or something which is spoiled, from that they derive the nutrients. They are saprophytic. Whereas parasitic mode of nutrition is the microorganism, they either live, it is mostly performed by microorganism or certain tiny leeches and all that. Okay, what they do is that they either live on the host or they penetrate into the host body, wherein they infect the host body and then they derive nutrients. That is parasitic mode of nutrition. Whereas symbiotic is, it is a condition where both the life form which is dependent for food, they both of them are benefited. Okay, so what is the right answer? It is option B, which is saprophytic mode of nutrition is the right answer. Okay, shall we move on to the next question? Fine. So this question is assertion and reasoning type of question. Two statements are given. First you will have to identify whether both the statements are true. Okay, if both statements are true, then next you should identify that if the below statement that is given, if that is the right explanation for above or not. Okay, so here the assertion says, the first statement says that walls of the intestine have numerous villi. Yes, there are numerous villi that are present in the walls of the intestine. And one more thing, see, they have not mentioned if it is, see the walls of the intestine, inner lining, right? So Krishu, you say that option A is the right answer. Are you sure with that, Krishu? Do you think both the statements are true? And are you sure? Check the statement properly. Check the statement properly. See, the reason says these villi increases the surface area of digestion. What is the function of villi? Is villi increasing the surface area of digestion, or is it increasing the surface area for absorption? Here it is showing digestion. What is the function of villi? It increases the surface area for the absorption of the digested food. So, see, this statement is false. That statement is false. They not mentioned which intestine. Yes, Krishu, that's why you should be very careful. The walls of the intestine, they are saying. Walls of the intestine have numerous villi. See, there is large intestine and small intestine. Okay. Villi is present in, particularly in small intestine. Okay. So, both the statement, see, A is true but R is false. Are you sure with that, Krishu? Can you give the reason why? See, they not mention which intestine. Yes. So, okay, walls of the intestine have numerous villi. Are you sure with that, Krishu? Is C right answer or D? It is actually C only. C is the right answer. C is the right answer. A is true but R is false. Okay. Oh, Okay, Sudesh says it does absorption, ma'am, even it didn't see digest, even I didn't see digest. Yeah, that's what. You should be very careful when you're reading the sentences. Okay, surface area, when you're in your examination, when you're presenting your answers, some students will be a bit tensed. When they see it increases the surface area, they will not read the entire sentence. They will think, yes, increases the surface area for absorption. But then here, clearly it is mentioned digestion, that's why it is false. Okay, clear with this? Option C is the right answer. We'll move on to next question. Okay, fine. So again, assertion. The first statement says that raw materials needed for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, water and minerals. Carbon dioxide, water and minerals. See, carbon dioxide, water and minerals. What about sunlight? What about chlorophyll pigment? It is not present. So, do you think this statement is complete? And then reason says nutrients provide energy to an organism. That is true. Nutrients, it provides energy to an organism. This statement is true. Okay. What about the first one? What about the first statement? Is that true? Can you consider this as true? Raw materials needed for photosynthesis are. The statement is not complete. So students, I want you to think, yes, carbon dioxide is required, water is required. What about minerals, students? Yes, option D is the right answer. Option D is the right answer. See, because for photosynthesis, yes, we require carbon dioxide, water, but minerals are required for the overall growth and development of the plant body, but not for the photosynthesis. Okay, they require carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll pigment. Okay, so that is incomplete. And here, yes, nutrients provide energy to an organism. That is true, but it does not match, right? So option D is the right answer. Okay, so we'll move on to next question. See, liver is known as the smallest gland in the human body. Is this true? Minerals not needed for photosynthesis, ma'am. Yes, it is not needed for photosynthesis. It's right. Okay. Students, do you agree with this? Is liver the smallest gland in the human body? And then it says liver secretes bile juice. Yes, it is liver which secretes bile juice. That is true. What about the first statement? What about the first statement? Do you think the liver is the smallest gland? Ma'am, if the assertion without minerals, then is the assertion right? No, Sudesh, it is not right. Because see, the raw materials that are needed for photosynthesis, they said, okay, carbon dioxide is mentioned, but what about other raw materials? The statement is incomplete. Even if the statement is incomplete, it is considered as false only. Okay, so no largest gland is liver. Yes, it is not the smallest gland, right? So this is false. So again, first the assertion is false and the reason is true. Now students, can you name the smallest gland in our body? Which is the smallest endocrine gland in our body? Liver is not the smallest. Then which one is the smallest? Which one is the smallest gland? Hi Tarun, hi. Yes, it is option D is the right answer. Now students, comment in the comment section which one is the, okay, liver is not the smallest gland, right? Then which is that smallest endocrine gland in our body? I explained that when I was doing the activity based question. Last week I did that session, right, wherein I have explained all the activity questions. Over there I explained about each and every glands. Yes, Tarun, it is pineal gland. It is pineal gland which is the smallest gland in our body, and that is involved in the secretion of melatonin. It is involved in sleep cycle. Yes, Krishu, it is right. Sudhanshu, yes, it is pineal gland, that is the smallest gland in our body. Okay, so we'll move on to next question. Okay. So the next question is, what? It is pineal gland. Yes. Once speak Telugu. Uma, you want me to speak in Telugu? Cheppu Uma. Okay. So now we'll focus on this case study based question. Okay. A student was performing an activity to prove the requirement for photosynthesis. Okay. During this activity, he kept two identical healthy potted plants A and B in dark for 72 hours. Why did he keep the healthy plant in dark room for 72 hours? So that the plant, it would have secreted extra glucose, right? And that glucose will be stored in the form of starch, right? So now the plant, he wanted the plant to utilize that starch completely. Okay, so to test the, to prove that, okay, certain raw materials are required for photosynthesis to happen. If that is not there, then the photosynthesis does not occur for that. So he placed the healthy plant in the dark room for 72 hours so that the plant, it empties its starch completely. Okay, fine. So he covered the plant A and B by bell-shaped jars separately. While covering the plant with separate bell jar, he kept KOH in the watch glass by the side of the plant in the setup A and not in the setup B. We have already discussed about this, right? So both these setups were made airtight and were kept in light for 6 hours. Then iodine test was performed with one leaf from each of the two plants A and B. Okay, fine. Ma'am, do you know Telugu? Yes, Tarun, I know to speak Telugu, but my mother tongue is Kannada. Okay, Krishu, this experiment shows the sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. No, Krishu, once again, yeah, it proves that the carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Okay, fine. So, what is that KOH doing, students? What is that KOH doing? It absorbs carbon dioxide. Okay, so you all would have performed that activity, right? See, if you have not performed, then you can check my other session where I have solved the activity based question. Oh, in that particular session, I have explained that experiment in depth. Okay, so now let's solve the questions. Fine. So now this experimental setup is used to prove essentiality of which of the following requirements of photosynthesis. Option A says chlorophyll, option B says oxygen, option C carbon dioxide, and option D is sunlight. You all have answered, it is option C. Yes, carbon dioxide is the right answer. Okay, fine. Next question. The function of KOH is to, what is the function of KOH, students? What is it doing? Is to absorb oxygen, or is it to absorb carbon dioxide, or is it to absorb moisture, or option D says sunlight. Yes, Kartika, it is carbon dioxide. What is KOH doing how is it absorbing carbon dioxide? See, when the carbon dioxide, when the KOH reacts with carbon dioxide, it forms carbonates. Okay, see the KOH, when it reacts with carbon dioxide, it forms K2CO3. It forms carbonate, because of which the carbon dioxide is not available for the plant to carry out its photosynthesis process. Okay, so option B is the right answer. It absorbs carbon dioxide. Okay, fine. Next question. Which of the following statements shows the correct result of iodine test performed on the leaf from the plant A and B respectively? Okay, so what happened? See, in the plant A, no photosynthesis, which means to say that there is no sugar content. Whereas in plant B, yes, photosynthesis has occurred and there is presence of starch. In plant A, there is no starch. So when iodine reacts with the leaf of plant A, what happens? Do you think there is color change? And when the iodine is allowed to react with the leaf of the plant B, what happens? Hi Vignesh, hi. Hi. Hello. So now option A says blue-black color would be obtained on the leaf of the plant A. Is this true? and then option B says blue black color would be obtained on the leaf of the plant B, right? And then option C says red color, no red color, so option C and option D is ruled out. Okay, Kartika says no color change. Kartika, read the question properly and look at the options also. Be careful when you are, answering such type of questions. See, when it comes to your section B, section C and section D, you will have to write the explanation. So even if you make mistake in one point, over there you might lose half mark or 1 mark. Okay, if your explanations are correct, whereas only 1 or 2 point is wrong, then okay, you might lose 1 or 2 mark. But then when it comes to MCQ type of question and such type of questions where you will have to choose the right option. If you don't choose, then gone. Okay, so it is actually option B is the right answer. Already Sudesh had answered. Yes, Kartika, it is option B is right answer. Okay, so let's move on to next type of case study based question. Okay, here heterotrophic nutrition is a mode of nutrition in which the organism obtain ready-made organic food from outside source. The organisms that depend upon outside source for obtaining organic nutrients are called as heterotrophs. Yes, heterotrophic nutrition is of 3 types. We all know that it is saprophytic, parasitic and holozoic mode of nutrition, right? So now let's solve the question. Let's look at this question. What are they asking? In which of the following group of organism food material is broken outside the body and then absorbed? So what happens? So what is the question? See, in heterotrophic mode of nutrition, there are certain organisms. What do they do is that, see, there is food material that is available. First, they will secrete certain enzymes outside their body, and then that enzyme will break the food particle and then they will ingest the food particle. Nothing but the digestion occurs outside the body and then we eat the digested food. Whereas what about we human beings, animals and all that? We first eat food, we ingest the food and then the digestion occurs. Right. So now the question is, in which of the following group the food material is broken outside the body and then obtained? So Sudesh says option B, yeast, mushroom, bread mold. Okay, so okay, this is fine. See here, amoeba is there. Amoeba in option A is wrong. Why option A is wrong? Because there is amoeba and green plants. Green plants are autotrophs, they are not heterotrophs. And then amoeba has holozoic mode of nutrition. Even over here, holozoic mode of nutrition in the sense, first we will ingest the food and then the food is broken down within our body. Okay, and then option C also, amoeba is there, paramecium is there, and here there is tapeworm, lice and cuscuta. So these 3 options are wrong, whereas option B is the right answer. Okay, fine, we'll move on to next question. Which of the following is parasite? Which of the following is parasite? Option A says yeast, option B says tania, option C says amoeba, option D says earthworm. Which of the following is parasite? What do parasite do? They either live on the surface of the host body or they might infect the host body and then they derive the nutrients from the host body. Such organism, they fall under parasite. Their mode of nutrition is parasitic, right? So Kartika says option D. Are you sure Kartika is earthworm? Okay, Sudesh says option B. Sudesh says option B. Okay. Sure students, are you sure with that? It is actually option B. Option B is the right answer. Okay, fine. We'll move on to next question. Which of the following is an example of saprotrophs? Option A says grass, option B says mushroom, Option C says amoeba, option D says paramecium. Which of this following organism falls under saprophytic mode of nutrition? Which one? Is it A, B, C or D? See, it's not grass. It's not at all grass. Okay, Kartika says B. Yes, it is mushroom. Yes, mushroom is the option B is the right answer. Like you all know, amoeba and paramecium, the mode of nutrition is holozoic, right? It is mushroom which has got saprophytic mode of nutrition. You would have seen no mushroom growing on decomposed bodies, right? So its mode of nutrition is saprophytic. Okay. So next question is heterotrophic nutrition. It involves, option A says production of simple sugar from inorganic compound. Is this true? Option B says utilization of chemical energy to prepare food. Option C says utilization of energy obtained by plants. Option D says all of the above. See, heterotrophic nutrition. See, the production of simple sugar from inorganic compound, I'll tell you students, it is not heterotrophic. It is autotrophs who does that. They prepare simple sugar from inorganic compounds like your plants and all that. What do? What is the raw material? They consume, their raw material is carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, chlorophyll pigment. So, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment, the carbon dioxide and water, what happens? The water molecule splits, oxygen is released and hydrogen that is released after splitting up of water molecule will reduce the carbon dioxide to carbohydrate, right? So here plants produce simple sugar from inorganic and that is autotrophic. So this is not the right answer. Utilization of chemical energy to prepare food. Do we utilize chemical energy to prepare food? No, that is also not. So option D is also not the right answer. Like Sudesh says, option C is the right answer. We utilize the energy that is obtained by plants. Directly or indirectly, we are dependent on plants. Okay. See, from where do we get our foods? Our food we get from plants as well as animals. From animals, what do we get? We get milk, we get egg, we consume meat. And what is the food for those animals? It is plant only, no? So we are dependent on plants directly or indirectly for our food. And the plant is the only life form which is capable of capturing the solar energy and utilizing that solar energy directly. Okay. Uma Bala says, ma'am, my name is Hari Kiran. Okay, Hari Kiran. I am the next Virat Kohli. Please give me your blessing. My blessings are always with you all students. I want you all to come up in life. Okay. Yeah. All the best, Hari Kiran. Hari Kiran, right? All the best, Hari Kiran. Okay. Stop spamming. Yeah. Fine. So, shall we move on to next question, students? Okay. So, till now, the questions which I was solving, that was from the topic nutrition. Now, we'll focus on respiration. After respiration, there is transportation and then comes the excretion part in this chapter. Okay. So, I have divided the question according to the topics. It is in the order. Okay. So, we are done from the nutrition part. You might get questions like that. Okay. Fine. Okay. So, now we'll move on to the respiration part. So, which of these parts are, see, look at this image. This is human respiratory system, right? And after that, now see which of these parts are actually the site of respiratory gaseous exchange. And then is the common passage for air. The second one is the common passage for air and food. Let's see the actual site of respiratory gaseous exchange. Where does the gaseous exchange occur? Where does the gaseous exchange occur in the human, this one, respiratory system? It is at alveoli. It is at alveoli, right? So, the first one is alveoli. In this you can see This is R, P, there is Q and there is rib, that is there is one more, right, T. So R, are you sure with that? Okay, you all are answering B. B, the first one is R, yes it is alveoli, and the common passage for air and food. I want you all to even name that, students. See, the common passage for air and food is, which is that common passage? Is it pharynx or larynx? First, I want you all to name the parts of human respiratory system. Where does gaseous exchange occur? Like you all told, it is alveoli. Okay, which is that common passage of air and food? There is a common passage. Is it pharynx or larynx? And then is provided with incomplete cartilaginous ring. Which is that part that is provided with incomplete cartilaginous ring? Relax and gets back to its original shape during expiration. Which part is that? Can you all name that part? And then moves upward and outward during inspiration. Which one is that? Yes, the common passage is pharynx. Common passage is pharynx. Okay, this is fine. Which is provided with incomplete cartilaginous ring? Which is that incomplete cartilaginous ring? So here you say R is alveoli, P. Where is P? Over here. Yes, pharynx. So this is also right. And 3 is Q. So trachea. Are you sure, Kartika? See, the trachea has got cartilaginous rings. Trachea has got cartilaginous ring. Okay. And then comes Q. It has got incomplete cartilaginous ring. Yes. Okay. Alveoli, pharynx and trachea. Yes, it is trachea. It is incomplete. It has cartilaginous ring which is incomplete. Yes, it is actually trachea. So Q. Here the Q shows it's actually trachea. Fine. And then the fourth one is it relaxes and gets back to its original shape during which one is that? Is it diaphragm? Is it diaphragm or rib cage? Is it diaphragm or lungs? Which one is that? Which one is this? Is it diaphragm or lungs? And what about it moves upward and downward during inspiration? Which one moves upward and downward? Is it diaphragm? Yes. This one is lungs. This is lungs, and then comes the one that moves upward and downward, that is diaphragm. The fifth one is diaphragm. Okay. So the diaphragm actually, so your fifth has to be, that is this diaphragm or lung, students? Rib cage. Okay, all are answering rib cage, right? Okay. So your actually option B is the right answer. Okay, is the diagram clear, students? Is the diagram clear? So you will have to learn just a second. Okay. You will have to, in life process chapter, there are so many diagrams. Each diagram you should be thorough with that. Okay. They might ask questions like this as well. Okay. Clear with that? Shall we move on to next question? Fine. Which of the following are parts of human respiratory system? Option A says trachea, option B says diaphragm, option C says lungs, and option D says all of the above. So which one is the right answer? It is, I will answer to this question, it is all of the above. It is very easy question. So the next question I want you all to answer, right? Which of the following statement is true about the energy of air, the entry of air into the lungs? So when the air enter into the lungs, see, this question is related to your, breathing mechanism also, right? So option A says, what is the question? Which of the following statement is true about the entry of air into the lungs? What happens? So option A says, air enters the body and travels to the lungs through the mouth and the nose. Okay. And option B says that the air enters the body and travels to the lungs through the esophagus and gullet. Is that true? Option C says that the air enters the body and travels the lung through windpipe and the pores. And option D says Air enters the body and travels to the lung through nose and nervous system. Which one is the right answer? See, it is not A, it's not even B, it's not even D. So, like you all have said, it is option C is the right answer. Okay, and you all know, right, what happens when you inhale? When you inhale, what happens? See, the thing is, the diaphragm, it moves downward, and then the air pressure within the lung is reduced, the air pressure reduces, and the lung also expands. That time you inhale the air. And when we exhale, what is happening when we are actually exhaling the air out? That time the diaphragm moves upward and the air pressure within the lung cavity that increases, and also the lung will contract. That time we will exhale. Okay, clear with that? Shall we move on to next question? Okay, so this is assertion and reasoning type of question, right? So let's say, what is our first statement saying? The first statement says that the aerobic respiration, which requires less energy as compared to anaerobic respiration. Is this first statement true, students? Now I want you all to be very careful while answering such type of questions. Do you think the first statement is true? See, the second statement says that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Yes, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. This is true. No, Anant, right? It is not right. The first statement is not true. The first statement is false. See, here it is saying that the aerobic respiration requires less energy as compared to the anaerobic respiration. See, the statement itself is wrong. The concept itself, it's actually wrong. See, what is happening in aerobic respiration? See, oxygen is required for the breakdown of glucose to release ATP. And how much ATP is released in case of aerobic respiration? It varies from 36 to 38. Whereas the energy that is released in anaerobic respiration is 2. Right? The energy that is released by anaerobic respiration is less, whereas from aerobic respiration, the energy that is released is more. But whereas the statement over here, what is it saying? Aerobic respiration requires less energy. Does this even make sense? Does this even make sense? No, right? So the first statement is false. The first statement is false. Okay? So only the R is true. Option D. Option D is the right answer. A is false, whereas R is true. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Yes. Okay, students, clear with this? Understood? Clear with this, students? So, option D is the right answer. Shall we move on to next question? Fine. So, the first statement says that pyruvate is 6 carbon molecule. Is this true? Is pyruvate 6 carbon molecule, students? Is pyruvate 6 carbon molecule? Or is it glucose? Do you agree with that first statement? And the second statement says that it is prepared in the cytoplasm as the first step to the cellular respiration. Okay, the pyruvate is prepared in the cytoplasm as the first step to the cellular respiration. So now come on, students, I want you all to answer to this question. Look at this. Is the first statement true? No, yes. Sudesh, yeah, it is a 3 carbon molecule. Pyruvate is the 3 carbon molecule, so this is false. What about second statement? Yes, Sudesh. Option D is the right answer. See, the first statement is false, whereas the second statement is actually, yes, that is true. The pyruvate, it is prepared in the cytoplasm and it is the first step of cellular respiration. This is true. So, option D is the right answer. Okay, yes, it is option D. Yes, yes. Okay. Hi, students. Good afternoon. Okay, so next question. In human beings, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin. Respiratory pigment is hemoglobin. It is a type of protein which has high affinity to carbon dioxide? Come on students, I want you all to answer. Is the first statement true? The respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, it seems, and yes, hemoglobin, it is a iron rich protein. It is a iron rich protein and it says that it has high affinity towards carbon dioxide. Is that true? Okay, so you all are saying option C. Yes, it is option C is the right answer. Okay, the first statement is true whereas the second statement is false because the hemoglobin has high affinity towards which one? Yes, it has high affinity for oxygen. So, option C is the right answer. Okay, students. Okay. Shubham, right? Shubham. Shubham, my name is Navya. Fine. So, okay, students. Shall we move on to next question? Okay. So, again, this is a case study based question, right? So, here we need energy to perform various activity. Yes, true. This energy is derived from the catabolism of various components of food. What do you mean by, students, can you tell me the difference between the catabolism and anabolism? Can you say the difference? What is catabolism and what is anabolism in simple words? So, here it says this energy is derived. See, we need energy to perform various activity and that energy is derived from the catabolism of various components of food. That is protein, carbohydrate, fats, etc. Oxygen is required and for the breakdown of those components, the oxygen is required for catabolic process. I just mentioned it. See, here it is mentioned that catabolic process. What is happening? See, in the presence of oxygen, the glucose is broken down. Right? So, whichever mechanism that involves breakdown of some component to release energy, that is catabolism. The catabolism is nothing but breaking up of molecule. Anabolism is building them together, forming some molecule. It is building. Okay. Yes, catabolism is breakdown. Anabolism is building up. Okay. So, you all are saying option C for the, oh, you already read the question. Okay, let me read this once. Fine. Where oxygen is required for catabolic process and carbon dioxide is released in the process. Okay, fine. So, the body requires continuous exchange of gases, that is oxygen from the atmosphere is taken inside and then the carbon dioxide produced is given out, right. In human beings, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin that is present in red blood cells and it has got very high affinity for oxygen. And in tissues, the exchange of gases, it occurs between the oxygenated blood and tissue cells as well. Okay. So, now let us see the question. The question is, people living at a sea level, they have around 5 million red blood cell per cubic millimeter of their blood. Whereas, those people who are living at an altitude of 5,400 meters, they have 8 million red blood cells, which means to say that the people who are living in the heights, which is the level is, if they are living in the altitude, in their body the red blood cells is more, right. This is because at high altitude, why? Option A says people eat more nutritive food, therefore the RBCs are formed. No, that is not the right. People get pollution free air to breathe and more oxygen is available. No, that is not right. That is not the correct explanation for this. Option C, like you all have mentioned, is actually right because see, over there the oxygen level is less. As we go higher, the oxygen gets lesser. So, our body requires more red blood cells because red blood cells has hemoglobin pigment and that hemoglobin pigment has high affinity towards oxygen. Right, that is needed. Why? To observe the required amount of oxygen to survive. So, option C is the right answer. Okay. So, shall we move on to next question? Fine. Respiration is a process in which? Respiration is a process in which option A says energy is used up. Option B says energy is stored in the form of ATP. Option C says energy is released and stored in the form of ATP. Option D says energy is not released at all. So what is happening in respiration process, students? What is happening in respiration process? What is the right answer? Is energy used up, or is energy stored in the form of ATP, or is energy released and stored in the form of ATP? So Kartika says option C. Yes, it is option C is the right answer, because see, the energy is released and that is stored in the form of ATP. Can you all tell the full form of ATP? What is ATP, students? What is the full form of ATP? You might get questions like that also. You might, in your MCQ question, ATP, they might give 4 options. What is the full form of ATP? Yes, option C is the right answer. Can anyone type the full form of ATP? It is adenosine triphosphate. Yes, yes, Sudesh, it is adenosine triphosphate. Yes, yes. Anirudh, right? Anirudh, yes, it is right. Yes, Neha. Yes, yes, Kartika, right answer. Okay, we'll move on to next question. Respiration, it differs from process of combustion in the fact that option A says all the energy stored in glucose is released at once due to combustion. Option B says that all energy stored in glucose is gradually released due to combustion. Option C says comparatively large quantity of energy is produced due to combustion. Option D says that the carbohydrates act as the combustion substance. So which one is the right answer, students? So now I want you all to think and answer. What happens? How is it differing from the combustion? See, here it says all energy, option A says all energy stored in glucose is released at once. Is that true? Is that true? Is all energy that is stored in glucose released at once? We have already studied, right, that glucose, if our body, even in plants, if the plant produces more glucose, then what happens? The excess glucose will be stored in the form of starch. When it is required, that time we derive energy from that. If we does not require glucose, then it will be stored. In case of plant, it is stored in the form of starch. In case of human being, it is stored in the form of glucagon. It is stored in the form of glucagon, right? So option A is not the right answer. Option B. Option B or C? You all are saying option C. See here, comparatively large quantity of energy is produced due to combustion. Are you sure with that, students? Are you sure large quantity of energy is produced due to combustion? So option C is the right answer. Yes, it is option C is the right answer. Okay. Shall we move on to next question? Okay. So now we are moving on to the transportation topic. Fine. Okay. So the first question is, choose the correct statement that describe arteries. That describes artery. What is artery doing? See, artery, it carries oxygenated blood from heart to different parts of the body. And when the oxygenated blood is pumped from the heart, it is pumped with a high pressure. So in order to tolerate that pressure, the arteries walls are very thick. They have thick elastic walls, right? So option A says that they have thick elastic wall, blood flows under high pressure, it collects blood from different organs and brings it back to heart. No, Sneha, no, you should read the entire option. What is artery doing? It carries blood away from the heart. See here it says, okay, this I agree that it is thick, walls are thick and elastic, it is true. And then blood flows at high pressure, that is also true. Whereas next statement says that it collects blood from different organ. It is saying from different organ and brings it back to heart. That is wrong. So option A is ruled out. Let's see what, okay, you all are saying that option C is the right answer. Let's see that why other options are wrong. See, option B says that it is thick elastic wall. Okay, no, it's not low pressure. It's not low pressure, that's why this is wrong. Option C says that it has thick elastic wall without walls present inside. Yes, this is true. Blood flows under high pressure. True. They carry blood away from the heart to different parts of the body. So option C is the right answer. Yes, like you all have answered, option C is the right answer. And then what is option D saying? It is thin wall. No. So your option C is the right answer. See, you would have seen veins, right? In veins, they have valve. Veins have valve. What is the function of that valve, students? What is the function of the valve that is present in the veins? Can you tell me the function of the valve that is present in the vein? And it is also present within heart as well, right? The walls are present. What is the function of valve? What is the function of valve? It prevents backward flow, right? It prevents the backward flow. Okay, so we'll move on to next question. Which of the following carries oxygenated blood only? Option A says aorta, option B says pulmonary artery, and then yes, Sneha, Sudesh and Kartika, yes, it prevents backward flow of the blood. Right answer. So now they are asking which of the following carries only the oxygenated blood. Option A says aorta, option B says, the second statement says pulmonary artery, C says pulmonary veins. So Kartika says B, A and C. Yes, it is A and C is the right answer. Aorta carry oxygenated blood and pulmonary vein also carries oxygenated blood. From where is that pulmonary artery carrying oxygenated blood, students? From where is that pulmonary vein? From where is this pulmonary vein carrying the oxygenated blood? Is it from lungs to heart or from heart to lungs? Comment section. From where is this pulmonary vein carrying the oxygenated blood? From which part is it carrying that oxygenated blood? And then what is this pulmonary artery carrying? Then what is this pulmonary artery doing? Yes, Kartika, heart to lungs. No, it is ulta. The pulmonary veins, it carries, yes, it is carrying the, are you sure with the pulmonary veins? It is carrying from lungs to heart. It is from lungs to heart. Always remember, students, whenever there is vein, the vein, it always carry blood towards the heart. If it is only vein, then it is carrying the deoxygenated blood from different part of the body towards the heart. If it is pulmonary veins, then it is carrying the oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. Whereas when it comes to artery, artery carries oxygenated blood from heart to different parts of the body. Whereas pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart to the lungs. Always artery is carrying blood away from the heart, vein is carrying blood towards the heart. Okay, so your option B is the right answer, that is aorta and pulmonary vein. Okay, shall we move on to next question then? Which of these sample is most probably from the pulmonary artery? So this is the blood sample and then it is indicating the oxygen content. There are 4 different blood sample. Here there are 4 different blood sample, and then the oxygen content that is present in R is very high. Okay, so now which of these sample is most probably from pulmonary artery? What does pulmonary artery carry? It carries deoxygenated blood from heart to lungs, right? What is it doing? It carries deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood from where? Heart to lungs. Right. So now out of these 4 sample, so okay, which has got less? It is pulmonary artery, students. B. So okay, Kartika says option D. Option D is S. Option yes. It is actually option D. So S is the blood sample which has got less oxygen content, which means to say that it will have carbon dioxide, right? So who carries deoxygenated blood? It is pulmonary artery from heart to lungs. Okay, so option D is the right answer. Okay, shall we move on to next question? Fine. The function of valve that is present in auricles and ventricles is, I have already told, the function of valves that is present in auricles and ventricle. See, heart has got 4 chamber, right? It has got left atrium, right atrium, left ventricle and right ventricle. In heart also there is what? There are valves, right? What is the function of valve? Okay, good afternoon Jayant, good afternoon. Okay, you all are answering it is option A. It ensures that the blood flows only in one direction. Yes, option A is the right answer. Okay, we'll move on to next question. See, the table shows the characteristic of blood in one blood vessel of the body. Okay, so here oxygen concentration is high, carbon dioxide is less, the pressure is high. So which blood vessel carries a blood which has got high oxygen concentration, less carbon dioxide concentration and the pressure is high? Option A says vena cava, option B says pulmonary vein, option C says aorta, option D says pulmonary artery. Students, I want you all to be very careful when you are answering this question. So now it is Venkat. Hi Venkat. So Kartika says option C. Option C. What about others? What about others? What is the right answer? Yes, Neha, it is aorta. It is aorta that carries the, see, and then what? Arteries which brings it out, right? No, Kartika, it is not, yes, it is option C, aorta, option C. Yes, Jayant, it is option C is the right answer. Okay, shall we move on to next question then? Okay, so assertion and reasoning type of question from the transportation topic. So first statement says that the thickest muscle are present in left atrium. Is it present only in the left atrium? And they are saying thickest muscle, the thickest muscles. And then second statement says that the left atrium, it receives deoxygenated blood from the lungs. First of all, from the lungs, the blood that heart receives will be oxygenated one, and that enters left atrium. So what do you think? Do you think both the statements are true? And it says that the thickest muscle, they are present in left atrium. So Sneha says both assertion and reason are false. Yes, Neha, it is Kartika, it is option D is the right answer. Both are false. See, because in heart, you get to see the thick muscles at lower part of the heart, where ventricle, both left ventricle and right ventricle has thick wall, whereas atrium, they have thin walls. Here it says atrium, that too particularly left. No, this is false and this is also false. So both assertion and reasoning are false. So option D is the right answer. Okay. So we'll move on to next question. The muscular walls of ventricle are thicker than artericles. Okay. This helps in preventing the backflow of blood. Jayant says because thick muscle in, yes Jayant, in ventricle only thick muscles are there. So muscular walls of ventricles are thicker than artericles, that is true. This is true. And what about the second statement? This helps in preventing the backflow of the blood. Is this statement true? Is this statement true, students? Come on. Is this reason given, is that true? No, it is false, right? See, the reason is false. So only our assertion is correct. So what is the right answer? Option C is the right answer. Yes. No, because valve state the reason. Yes, valve is the reason. Because valve states, yes. This reason is talking about valve. So it is not right. Yes, Neha, yes. Option C is the right answer. We'll move on to next question. So it is a case study based question. Right? So let me read this paragraph for you all. See, arteries. Arteries are the vessels which carry blood away from the heart to various organs of the body. Yes. And then since the blood emerges from the heart under high pressure, the arteries have thick elastic walls. Yes, it is true. And then veins collect the blood from different organs and brings it back to the heart. Okay. They do not need thick wall because the blood is no longer under pressure. When the blood is carried from different parts of the body, it is not under high pressure, therefore they don't have thick walls. Okay, fine. Which one? Veins don't have thick walls. Okay. Instead they have valve. Instead they have valve. Why? That ensures that the blood flow only in one direction. Okay, fine. On reaching an organ or tissue, the artery, it divides into smaller and smaller vessels. Why? To bring the blood in and then contact with all the individual cells. What happens when the artery divides? What is formed? There is blood capillary. Okay. And the smallest vessels have walls which are 1 cell thick. They are called as capillaries. And then the exchange of material between blood and surrounding cells take place across this thin wall, and then what happens? The capillary then joins together to form vein that convey the blood away from the organ or tissue. Okay, already have received answer as option B. Okay, let me read the question now for you all. What is the importance of thin walls of blood capillary? See here, thin walls of blood capillary provide, no, option A is not right. Option B says that the exchange of material between the blood and surrounding cell takes place across the thin walls of blood capillary. Yes, option B is the right answer, like you all have answered it, right? And option C says the thin wall of the blood capillary helps in, no, that's not right. So option D is also not right. So option B is the right answer. Okay, we'll move on to next question. What is the function of valve in vein? I will only, see, we have already saw this question so many times. It prevents backward flow of the blood, nothing but it will make sure that the blood flows in the one direction, right? So here, which option says right? Valve ensure the unidirectional flow of blood. So option A is the right answer. Okay, clear with that? We'll move on to next question. Which blood vessel have high blood pressure and what they have to withstand this, high pressure? Okay, so option A says both arteries and veins have the same pressure of blood and they are thick walled vessel. Is that true? Is this true? No, right? And what about option B? Arteries have high blood pressure and they have elastic and thick walls to withstand this high pressure. Yes, this makes sense. It is true. Option C says that the veins have high, no. Veins don't have high blood pressure. They don't have high blood pressure. So, and it's not even D, like you all have answered. Option B is the right answer. Option B is the right answer. Okay, students, shall we move on to the next question? Okay. Fine. What is the function of artery? What is the function of artery? Option A says arteries have high blood pressure. Option B says arteries are present in the body of human beings. Option C says that the arteries are thicker than veins. Option D says arteries are the blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart to the various organs of the body. So, Sneha says option B. Ma'am, when we start control and coordination, Jayant, after the transportation part, another 2-3 questions are there. Then there is excretion part. Over there some 4-5 questions are there. After that we will be starting control and coordination. From 1:30, maybe from 1:30 or before 1:30, 1:25 we will start control and coordination also. Okay. So you all are answering option D. Yes, it is option D is the, see, arteries, okay, they are asking the function, right? So option D is the right answer. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So yeah, hardly in this there are 3-4 questions. After that the control and coordination will start that. Okay, so now observe this diagram. Study the diagram given below, then answer the questions that follows. So like you all can see, what is this diagram all about? Which diagram is this? That it is the diagram of which part A is also true. Students, name this part. Which part is this? Where is this found in your excretory system? Where is this one? Can you all comment in the comment section? Option C. Option C, 2 is, it says glomerulus, 3 is Bowman capsule, and what is 1? Okay, you all are saying yes, Jayant, it is nephron. Yes, it is nephron. You all are saying that yes, the second, that is your glomerulus, and the 3, this is Bowman's capsule. That is Bowman capsule. Okay, fine. So the second one is option C is the right answer. Okay, it is the functional unit. Yes, it is the structural and functional unit of kidney. Yes, that is right. Now then what is this one? What is this? See, it is going out. Is it efferent arteriole or is it efferent arteriole? What is 1? Here it is not given, but I want you all to answer what is 1. Is it efferent or afferent? It is going out. Renal artery, yes. In renal artery there is afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. So here it is going out, this one it is entering in. Here it is entering in and this is out. And this is in. Efferent. Yes, it is efferent arteriole. Okay, it is efferent artery. Fine. Okay. We'll move on to the next question. Which of the following statements are true? Okay, the statement 1 says that the kidney lie in the abdominal cavity, and statement 2 says that the uterus carry urine from kidney to the urinary bladder. Ureters carry urine from kidney to urinary bladder. Which one is the true statement out of these two? Whether both are true or only one statement is true? So kidney lies in abdominal cavity. Do you agree with that? So you say both the statements are true. Yes, both the statements are true because yes, kidney lie in the abdominal cavity, one on the either side. Okay, and then the ureters carry the urine from kidney to the urinary bladder. So both the statements are true. And one more thing, students, the right side kidney, it is present bit below when you compare with the left kidney. Why? Can you say why the right kidney is positioned a bit below when you compare with the left kidney? Can you tell me? Can you tell me why? Right kidney is bit present at the, when you compare with the left kidney, right kidney's position is bit lower when you compare with the left kidney. Why? Why? Yes, it is due to the liver. It is due to the liver. Yes, that is the right answer. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. Yes, because of liver. Yeah, true. Okay. So the waste products from plants are removed through, option A says tomato, option B says lentils, option C says the felling of fruits. It is falling of fruits. There is some mistake in this. It is falling of fruits. So which one? Lenticels, stomata, lenticels, option D. Are you sure? So, Giant, lenticels are nothing but, the stomata are present on leaf, right? What is the function of stomata? They play important role in gaseous exchange, and then through stomata transpiration occurs, right? Now for respiration process, see the respiration, it occurs throughout the plant body. Okay, students, now I am telling what are lenticels. Okay. See, for respiration to occur, what is happening? The plant, it will take in the oxygen, it will utilize that oxygen for the respiration process, and then the carbon dioxide is released out. Because after respiration, carbon dioxide is not needed for the plants, right? So now, in case of leaf, it is through stomata the gaseous exchange is occurring. Whereas if the respiration is occurring somewhere in the stem, in the region of stem, over there what happens? If the stem is woody, then what happens? On the stem there are certain tiny pores, white color structures will be present. They are lenticels. Let's say if this is a woody stem, on the stem you will see dots like this. You will see white dots, and they are bit pore-like structures will be there. It is through those pore-like structure that is present on the woody stem, there the gaseous exchange occurs for respiration to take place. They are called as lenticels. Lenticels are also a type of respiratory organ in case of plant, and in case of root. In root also respiration occurs. Over there the root cells behave like respiratory organ. Okay. In leaf, the stomata is the respiratory organ. In case of stem, lenticels are the respiratory organ. In case of root, it is root hairs. Okay, clear with that, students? So it is actually option all of the above. Are you sure with that, students? It is actually not option D. See, in case of leaf, it is, see here it says it is actually falling of root. It is falling of fruits. See, fruits will have important nutrients in them, that's why we consume them. Right? Fruits will not have any waste material in them. But some fruit does not fall, yes. So now what is the question? The waste products from the plants are removed through which one? Is it option C? No, it's not option C. It's not, yes, sometimes fruit doesn't fall, yeah. See, it is not all of the above, it is not option C. I want you all to tell, is it? Yes, Jayant, it is actually stomata. Stomata is the right answer. See, mostly gaseous exchange occurs through stomata only. Sometimes it occurs through stem. But then mostly the carbon dioxide is the large amount when you compare, the gaseous exchange is occurring in stomata only. When they ask you such type of question, you will have to be very careful. That's why your option A is the right answer. Deepak, hi Deepak, yes, you are new to this channel, okay fine. Deepak, just before few minutes I have explained about lenticels, you can rewind this and watch. Okay, clear? Lenticels, these are respiratory organ which are present on the woody stems. Okay, stomata due to gaseous, yes. So your option A, stomata, is the right answer. Okay, students, clear with that? Okay, Jayant, just before 5 minutes I explained what are lenticels. 2-3 minutes I explained what are lenticels. Just watch that. Okay, they are tiny pores that are present on woody stem. Yes, through which the gaseous exchange occurs, which is important for the respiration. Okay, fine. Shall we move on to next question? Okay, assertion and reasoning type of question. So now the first statement says that, just a second, human body produces highly toxic substances which if not eliminated may cause death. Do you agree with that? And the reason is excretory substance remove nitrogenous waste from the body. Excretory substance removes nitrogenous waste from the body. Okay, so yes, first statement is true. What about second statement? What about second statement? Yes, students, it is actually, and one more thing student, here this is a printing mistake that is present over here. It is excretory system. Whenever we talk about the excretory system in human being, nothing but the kidney is involved. The main function of kidney is to remove the nitrogenous waste. So, both the statements are true, but then this is not the right explanation for the above statement. So, option B is the right answer. Like you all said, option B is the right answer. Yes, yes students, correct. Okay, we'll move on to next question. Fine. So, the first statement says that the plant excretes various waste products during their life process. Okay, and they produce waste like urea in human. What do you think students? See, yes, plants do produce certain waste when they carry out certain life processes. Okay, so the first statement is true. Do you think plant produce urea? Do you think plant produce urea? Yes, you all are saying that first is true, second is false. Yes, the second statement is false. So, option C is the right answer. Option C is the right answer. The first statement is true, whereas the second statement is false. Okay, fine. Now, let's solve this case study based question. Okay, let me read this question for you all. Many unicellular organisms, they remove metabolic waste products by simple diffusion from the body surface into the surrounding. Yes, that is true, because unicellular organisms, they are made up of one cell, they are made up of single cell, right? So now that one cell is in contact with the surrounding environment, therefore over the diffusion works, right? Okay, fine. So now, whereas when we talk about multicellular organisms, they are very complex, right? They have specialized organ for excretion. Kidneys remove the poisonous substance such as urea, waste salt, excess water from the blood, and it excrete them as urine, and then nephron is a unit of filtration in kidney that filters waste materials, right? And it selectively reabsorbs. Or excretes water with the help of capillaries that surround it. In case of kidney failure, the artificial kidney can be used. And also in case of kidney failure, if the patient is suffering from that condition, then dialysis is also done. Okay, so I have already received answers that ma'am, what is kidney? Tanija, are you sure? Are you sure with your question? What is kidney? And Sneha says glucose, amino acid, salts, major amount of water is selectively reabsorbed. Yes, it is selectively reabsorbed. We know what is happening in reabsorption, right? So Sudesh says that the selective absorption, it helps in reabsorbing useful substances like glucose. Yes, students, you all are answering right. During reabsorption, what happens? Certain important substances are reabsorbed. So by reabsorbing those important substances, what is maintained in our body? Taneja, are you sure with your question? What is kidney? Are you sure with that question? Kidney is excretory organ in animals, we human beings and all that. Ma'am, nutrient, see what happens is that the important, like you all have already mentioned, see when the fluid, first what happens in kidney? When the blood carries that nitrogenous waste along with it, where to the glomerulus, over there completely along with nitrogenous waste, certain important substances that are present in blood, that is also filtered, where that fluid which has got nitrogenous waste and important substance are filtered into Bowman's capsule, and then that Bowman capsule will lead to the tubular part of the nephron, right? Around the tubular part of the nephron, there are blood capillaries that are present. So when this fluid which is having nitrogenous waste and some certain important substances and excess water will also be there, that will be important substance and excess water will be reabsorbed back. So by reabsorbing it, by reabsorbing it, what happens is that the pH value and the fluid level in our body will be balanced. It will maintain the pH level in our body. That is important, students. Yes, you all have mentioned it, that what is happening during reabsorption, what is absorbed, and along with that you should also mention that by absorbing these things, what is being absorbed? Sugar, glucose, amino acid, certain ions like sodium, potassium and all that. Along with that, some small amount of vitamin C is also absorbed. By absorbing all this, what is happening? The pH level of our body is maintained. pH level is maintained, and then the pH level is balanced and the fluid level is also maintained. That is important. You should add that also along with this. Hemostasis, hemodialysis. See students, nothing but in case of Tanuja is asking, Tanuja, right? What is nephron? Nephron, it is the filtration unit that is present in kidney. See, I told you, what is kidney doing? It is filtering the nitrogenous waste away from the blood, right? So, if the kidney is filtering that nitrogenous waste, then there should be something that is present in kidney that is playing important role in this filtration. That is nephron. Okay. So, hemodialysis is necessary for, yes, students, yes, once you go through hemodialysis, because you might get such type of questions from hemodialysis. Not the entire process that is happening in hemodialysis. Instead, just go through about hemodialysis. What is hemodialysis and what is happening? Hemostasis is nothing but it is the maintenance of the fluid level. If I am not wrong, Sneha, it is related to the maintenance of the fluid level in our body. Okay. Yes, Jayant, hemodialysis once go through, yes. Okay. See, hemostasis, it is a process where your body fluid is maintained. If I am not wrong, I'll get back to you on that, Sneha, by the end of this session, okay. Hemostasis is nothing but, yeah, it is balancing, the fluid level is balanced in our body through some processes followed for that. That is hemostasis. Homeostasis, sorry, it is homeostasis. And hemodialysis, like Jayant was asking, yes, it is important for your examination. You might get questions from hemodialysis as well. Okay, students, shall we move on to next question, or do you have any other doubts? Do you have any other doubts? Shall I move on to the next question? Okay. Okay. Fine. The excretory system of human includes, it has kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, urethra. Option B says pair of kidneys, pair of ureter, pair of urinary bladder. So option A is also incomplete, right? Option C says pair of kidneys, pair of ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. And option D says pair of kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, pair of urethra. No. So option Sneha, it is option C. Option C is the right answer. It is option C. Okay. Option C is the right answer. Okay. So we'll move on to next question. Which of the following process occurs in the parts below? In this, what is happening actually is tubular secretion happening, or is tubular reabsorption happening, or is ultrafiltration, or all of the above. It is not all of the above, students. Tubular secretion is also not happening. It is not even tubular reabsorption. It is option C, filtration, ultrafiltration, because I told you, at glomerulus what is happening is that along with the nitrogenous waste which is present in blood, the other important substances which we require is also filtered. That's why here ultrafiltration is happening and option C is the right answer. Okay. Shall we move on to the next? So can nephron be compared to a filter? And which of the following represents Bowman's capsule? Now, what do you think, students? Can we? Yes, we can compare the nephron with the filter. And here, which part is Bowman capsule? Is it A or is it C? Yes, it is A. This is the Bowman's capsule. Okay, we'll move on to the next. So yeah, we are done with life process chapter. We have solved competency based question. We have looked upon certain case study type of question also from the life process chapter. Students, now you can ask me question. Now you can ask me questions from the life process chapter. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment in the comment section. Jayant, ma'am, getting scared of science exam. Jayant, it's okay, you need not have to get scared. Just give your best. Whatever you have studied till now, revise them again and again. Practice certain questions, previous year questions, and then revision is the key now. Revise whatever you have studied, it's okay. Okay, so shall we start with the control and coordination chapter, students? Or do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts from the life process chapter? Do you have any doubts, students? Difference between artificial and natural kidney. See, the natural kidney, you all know its function. See, artificial kidney, see, it is nothing but, see, when the person is not in a position to, filter the nitrogenous waste, which means to say that the person has some issues with the kidney, maybe kidney failure. That time they will make use, artificial kidney is nothing but that is that hemodialysis. Hemodialysis is also functioning like kidney only. What is happening? The blood is taken out from the body, and then when the blood flows through the dialysis thing, then the nitrogenous waste will be removed, and then the purified blood enters back to the body. If I am not wrong, that hemodialysis is, artificial kidney, if I am not wrong, students. I will get back to you on that once again, on artificial kidney. Okay. Pyruvate glucose, breakdown of glucose. Chart pyruvate glucose. What breakdown of glucose? You want the chart of that. You want that. Are you asking the, the flow chart of that? Jayant? Yes, ma'am, hemodialysis is the artificial kidney. Yes. Like I told you, ma'am, in hemodialysis, the tubes are semi-permeable. Why? Yes, it has to be semi-permeable only. It is semi-permeable because, see, if it is permeable, what happens is that every substances that are present, nothing but the important substances which we require for our body, that will also get filtered. Okay, and like I told you here, it is that it will have to pass through those dialysis. Right, and here in this hemodialysis, the difference between the artificial kidney and the real kidney is that, see, artificial kidney, it is happening outside, and over in artificial kidney, reabsorption is not taking place. In the natural one, the reabsorption was there, right? So here reabsorption cannot take place. That's why once in case if the membranes are permeable, then every substances, all the important substances will get filtered, and then there is no reabsorption. Then our body will lose the important substances also. That's why in hemodialysis over there, the semi-permeable membranes are used. Nothing but those substances which are not needed for the body, that is removed out, whereas those substances which are needed for our body, that is not removed out. Okay? Yes, ma'am, the glucose breakdown. Okay. To filter, in order to filter. Sneha, I guess I clarified your doubt. That's why the semi-permeable membranes are there. Because in hemodialysis, there is no reabsorption. Okay, yes, Jayant, okay, I will show you, I have that in the other slide. By the end of the session, I will show you that flow chart. I guess I have already shared in that life process, if you have downloaded the notes, in that life process note, I have added that flow chart. Okay, clear with that? Shall we start with our control and coordination, students? Yeah, welcome Sneha. Or shall we take 5 minutes break and then start the control and coordination? Or shall I start with the control and coordination? If you don't want any break, then I'll start. In phone, it's not getting downloaded. Is it, Jayan? Then I will show you. Once the session is done, I'll show you. It is in another PPT. It is in another presentation. I can show you that. Okay. Okay, we'll start with this. We'll start with control and coordination. Fine? Time is precious. Okay, okay. Let's start with that. Okay, so your doubts are clarified, right? Okay, I'll start with this. Okay, which of the following parts make the peripheral nervous system? Okay, spinal cord, spinal nerves, and then comes the cranial nerves. So peripheral nervous system has got nerves, right? So which of these following belongs to are the parts of the peripheral nervous system? Is spinal cord a part of peripheral nervous system or central nervous system? Peripheral or central nervous system? See, spinal cord it belongs to central nervous system. What about other two? Spinal nerves and cranial nerves. These two are the part of peripheral nervous system. So 1 and 3 only. So it is, students, it is 2 and 3. It is 2 and 3. Option C is the right answer. It's not option B, it's option C. Spinal cord is a part of central nervous system, Sneha. Yes. Yes. Here the question is, which of the following part makes the peripheral nervous system? Read the question properly. It is option C is the right answer, Sneha. It's not option B. No, Sneha, it is option C. Option C says 2 and 3. These are part of peripheral nervous system, which is spinal nerves and cranial nerves. Read the question properly before answering. Okay? We'll move on to next question. Which of the following statements distinguishes motor neuron from the sensory neuron? See, the first statement says it carries information to the brain. Which one? See, which of the following statement distinguishes motor neuron from the sensory? Okay? That's okay, Sneha, but then you should not repeat this mistake in your examination. You should be really very careful when you are answering the questions, okay? Read the question twice and be quick as well. Fine. So now come on, students, answer to this question. First statement says that it carries information to the brain. Second statement says that it carries impulses away from the central nervous system. And then third statement says that the motor neuron carry information to the brain and impulses from the brain. So which one is the right answer? Come on. Option C. Option C says only 2. See, the function of motor neuron is it carries the message from the brain to the target organ. Here it is saying that it carries information to the brain and impulse. So this is not right. Third one is not right. And it carries information to the brain. No, that is also not right. So option C is the right answer. Okay. We'll move on to next question now. Which of the following is the correct sequence of the components in the transfer of impulse in a reflex action? So you all have studied about reflex action, right? Reflex action, it is that immediate involuntary response, whereas reflex arc is the pathway that is followed by, right? So Jayan says option A. Jayan says option A. Okay. So first sensory nerve and then comes sensory organ, muscle, motor neuron. Are you sure with this, Jayant? Are you sure with this? Sensory nerve, sensory organ, muscle, and then motor neuron. They are asking the correct sequence. They are asking the correct sequence. They want the sequence. See, first it is sensory receptor which is present on the sensory organ. Then comes the sensory neuron. And then sensory neuron to motor neuron. In between there is associated neuron also. And then to the muscle. Muscle should be the last one, that is 3. Is at the last. So option C is the right answer. That's why students, it's okay students, it's fine. Now you are practicing, it's fine, but in your examination, check twice. Be very, very careful. Okay? Fine. So option C is the right answer. Okay? It's okay, fine, Jayan, don't feel sad, but then don't repeat these mistakes in your examination. Okay, fine. We'll move on to next question. Which of the following is or are the characteristic feature of the reflex action? It is a fast response. Option B says it is an automatic response. Option C says it is an involuntary action. All of these. All of this. Which one? Confused between 1 and 2. See, yes, actually reflex action is the fastest one, students. Yes, it is actually all of the above. It is the fastest one and it is automatic, and then it is involuntary action also. So, option D is the right answer. Okay, fine. Let's move on to next question. Identify X and its function. X, you can see which part is this, students? So, before focusing on this, I want you to tell what is this diagram representing? Which diagram is this? Which diagram is this? It represents which type of, what is happening over here? This diagram indicates which concept? Which concept is it indicating? Can you all name? Can you all comment your answers? Yes, synapse is the gap. Synapse is the gap. What is actually happening over here? I think spinal cord. No, Jayant, it is not spinal cord. See here, what is happening is that, students, here there is transmission of electrical. This diagram is representing the transmission of electrical impulse. Okay. It is representing the transmission of electrical impulse. Yes, now electrical impulse. Yes. Okay. So the question is, what is this X? Is that ribosome or is it lysosome? Is it vesicle that releasing neurotransmitter, or is it granule, students? Now, see, you can see there is vesicle. Let me tell you one thing, this knob-like structure which you are seeing, that is the axon terminal. Okay, and this depression which you are seeing over here, that is the dendrite of the next neuron. And then the gap that is present in between, the tiny gap, that is the synapse. That is the synapse. Okay. Giant says mitochondria should be down in the picture. No, it's not mitochondria, students. No. See, I told you this is axon terminal. Okay. In neuron, axon terminal does not have any cell organelle. The cell organelles are present in the cell body of the neuron. Okay, Sneha says option C. Yes, Sneha, option C is the right answer. See, what happens is that at axon terminal, there are vesicles like this. These vesicles carry neurotransmitters. Okay. No, ma'am, in the bottom picture, not answer. No, ma'am, in the bottom picture, not answer in the sense, what, Jayant, come again? Mitochondria should be down in the picture, ma'am. No. Here, mitochondria has no role with this thing. Yes, Neha, actually C is the right answer. Students, do you want me to explain about this transmission of electrical impulse with the help of this diagram? Do you want me to explain this? Are you all confused with this concept of electrical impulse, students? If you want the explanation, I can explain in 5 minutes. If you are confused with it. See, Jayant, mitochondria has no role in this. It is not mitochondria, students. Be careful, ma'am. In NCERT, mitochondria is there in the bottom of another part. In the bottom, I told you, this is the dendrite. This is the dendrite. After dendrite, what is there? Cell body. In cell body, mitochondria will be present. So, this is the dendritic part. This is the dendritic part. In cell body, see, you would have seen this diagram. See, there is, if this is axon, okay, and then there is this cell body. It's a rough diagram, students. let's say this is our neuron, okay. You can see that these branched structure, that is dendrite, and this part is cell body, and then there is this axon, okay, and then afterwards there is nerve ending, right, and then comes another. And then comes another neuron. This is again nerve ending, right? So now in this diagram which you can see, this part, this is a gap. There is a gap, that is synapse. That is synapses. This region is synapses. This part is zoomed over here. Okay. Sorry ma'am, ma'am in NCERT, yes, sometimes my keyboard is auto correcting and giving wrong answers. That's okay, that's okay. Okay, so the mitochondria are, yes, it is seen in the cell body part. If it is present at the bottom thing, it connects here. After dendrite there is cell body. In cell body the cell organelles are present. Okay students, do you have any doubt in the electrical transmission part, or is the concept clear? If the concept clear, then I will move on to the next question. And here this X that you can see, that is actually vesicle which are present in the axon terminal, and when the electrical impulse reaches the axon terminal, it will activate those vesicles to secrete the neurotransmitters that are present within the vesicles. Okay, and when the neurotransmitters are released, it also lets that electrical impulse, pass through synapses into the dendrite of the next neuron. And that time what happens is that in that region, the electrical impulse will be converted into chemical one. And again when that chemical message enters to the dendrite, again at the dendrite, it is converted into electrical impulse. And always remember this student, when is that chemical message converted into electrical impulse? It is at dendrite. It is at dendrite. Okay, clear with that? So we'll move on to the next question then. Okay, fine. So now it is assertion and reasoning type of question. Okay, assertion, here animals can react. The animals can react to stimuli in different ways. Yes, this is true, right? And then animals have nervous system and an endocrine system involving hormone. This is also true. Animal can react to the stimuli in different ways. Animals have nervous system and endocrine system involving hormone. Both the statements are true. Now I want you all to answer whether this is the correct reason for the above statement. Are you sure with that? Sneha and Jayant, are you sure with that? Don't you think this is the right reason for the above one? Yes, Jayant, it is option A. Option A is the right answer. Because see, here what is given in the first statement? We human beings, animals, we react to the stimuli. Stimuli is nothing but any change that is occurring in our surrounding. Yes, Jayant, A is right answer. See, we respond to our surrounding, right? Our surrounding environment, we are reacting to it. Why? Because we have nervous system and endocrine system. Because of that only we are reacting. So, option A is the right answer. Okay, fine. We will move on to next question. See here, the first statement says that the reflex action are automatic and rapid response to stimuli. See, reflex action are automatic and rapid response to stimuli. These actions are controlled by brain. Is that true? Is that true? See, this one is true. What about the second statement? What about the second statement? What about second statement? Yes, second statement is false. Why? Because it says it is controlled by brain. No, actually in reflex action brain is not involved. Instead, Only spinal cord is involved. Yes, it is controlled by spinal cord like Jayant said. So, option C is the right answer. Okay, we'll move on to next question. So, this is a case study based question, right? Let me read this once quickly for you. So, when we touch a hot plate unknowingly, then this heat is sensed by receptor P present in our finger. The receptor triggers an impulse in the neuron Q, which transmits the message to an organ R, which is a part of the central nervous system. So now students, you should focus on this question really very well, because they will ask question like this, that what is the name of receptor P? So what is receptor? Here they say that we touched. That receptor it sensed, that is present in finger. So thermoreceptor, yes. Yes, thermo means temperature, yes. So thermoreceptor is the right answer. Okay, fine. Now let us guess here itself. The questions are like this only, okay. And then the receptor trigger an impulse in neuron Q. What is neuron Q? So the neuron which carries message from the receptor to the brain, or here they are talking about reflex action. The one which carries messages from the receptor to the spinal cord. Which neuron is that, student? Yes, Jayant. Yes, Jayant. Q is, what is Q? Q is sensory neuron. Okay, fine. Which transmit the message to the organ R. Now, which is that organ R? Which is a part of central nervous system. Which is that R? Is it brain or spinal cord? Is it brain or spinal cord? Here the impulse is passed on to the neuron S, which in turn passes it to yet another neuron T. So what is that another neuron S, and what is that neuron T? And then neuron T passes impulse to the tissue U in the arms. Now come, yes, central nervous system is spinal cord, and over here we are talking about reflex action. So which is that organ? It is, like you said, it is spinal cord, yes. And then what happens in spinal cord? There is one neuron that is present between the sensory and one more. Which is that neuron? Yes, students, it is relay neuron. Relay neuron is also called as, it is also called as association neuron and associated neuron, right? And then that neuron transmit the messages to next one. Which is that next one? Is it motor neuron? It is motor neuron. And then motor neuron transmit the message to which target tissue is this over here? Here the person has touched the aort vessel without his knowledge, right? So what is that? Which is that part that is present in arm? What is it? What is U? What is U? Yes, Neha, it is relay neuron, correct, it's right. Effector, yes, it is effector, and in this case it's because the person is touching the heart, is touching with his hand, right? So your muscle will have to contract and relax. So that message is sent to the muscle, okay, that is effector only. So now let's see the questions. So here P is thermoreceptor, okay, fine. Let's look at next question. Name the organ R. Organ R, you already answered, it is spinal cord, right? Okay, fine. And then what name is given to the phenomenon in which the hand is pulled away quickly from the hot plate? Which phenomenon is that, student? Is it reflex action or is it thermal action? Is it reflex action or thermal action? A or B? Is it A or B? Jayant, yes, it is A is the right answer, A. Sneha, it is A. Okay, and then name the effector in this whole process. Effector in this whole process, like I told you, they will ask like this. Yes, you told effector, but here we are touching it with the help of hand, right? So, is it the muscle of arm or muscle of leg or bone of arm? Which one? It is the muscle of arms. Okay, so option A is the right. Yes, Neha, yes. Option A is the right answer. Now, we'll move on to the second topic, that is human brain. In human brain, we'll solve some of the competency question, case study based questions. Okay, so which of these labeled parts control peristalsis movement? Peristalsis movement is which type of movement? Is it voluntary or involuntary? First, students, comment in the comment section, that is peristaltic movement a voluntary movement or involuntary movement? Come on, comment in the comment section. Is it voluntary or involuntary? No, Jayanth. The peristaltic movement that is happening in your digestive tract, it is actually involuntary. See, when you eat food, when you swallow the food, after you swallow the food enters to stomach, it passes through the digestive system and all that. Can you control the movement? No, it is involuntary. So now, like you said, it is involuntary. Okay, fine. Which part of the brain controls the involuntary movement? See, W is, what is W? It is forebrain. W is forebrain, whereas Y is midbrain, and Z, see, this is cerebrum. That is cerebrum, which is this region. It is midbrain, right? And then this is medulla oblongata, and this is cerebellum. So now which one? It is medulla. Yes, it is medulla which controls involuntary action. Medulla oblongata. So which one is that? Which option is this? It is option D. It is option D. Medulla oblongata. It is Z. So Z is given in option D. That elongated part. Yes, students. Yes, it is medulla oblongata. Okay, fine. We'll move on to next question. Yes. When Anve's cerebellum is injured, in an accident, Anvesh is unable to do which of the following action? First of all, student, what is the function of cerebellum? What is the function of cerebellum? So you all are answering yes, balancing of the body. Yeah, it's not hand movement, it is balancing of the body. Cerebellum, it helps in maintaining a good posture, right? It balances, right? So option B is the right answer. Okay, fine. We'll move on to next question. The medulla oblongata of the brain controls which of the following action? Medulla oblongata. Option A says heartbeat. Option B says peristalsis. Option C says body balance. Option D says both A and B. Which one? It is, yes, option D is the right answer. Heartbeat, peristaltic movement, all these are involuntary, right? So that is controlled by medulla oblongata. Okay, yes, Neha, it is option D. Fine. So now assertion and reasoning type of question, right? So here the brain is also known as central nervous system. The brain is also known as central nervous system. Okay, and the reason, central nervous system also controls and regulates the voluntary action. Come on. Okay, you want me to make a video on surprise tests? Okay, so come on students, answer to this question. Okay, I'll conduct surprise test in another this. But now it is not called as surprise because I already told you, yes, I'll conduct a test. Okay, false. So, yes. See, the central nervous system only controls and regulates voluntary action. Is that true? The central nervous system controls only voluntary action. Is that true? See, Jayan says option D. A is false and R is true. R is actually false. R is false. Okay. So actually A is true. The brain, they'll also tell you brain, it is a part of central nervous system, but it is actually not called a central nervous system. But students, here I'll tell you, in case if they would have given statement like this, that both assertion and reasoning are false, then give first preference to that. But here there is no option like that. Instead, what is the option that is given? A is true and R is false, and then there is A is false, R is true. But then R is not true, R is false. Okay, yes, Sneha, both are false. But when the questions are asked like this, the majority, you should choose this one. See, brain is a part of central nervous system. They say yes, brain is central nerve. You would have heard them saying brain, it is the central nervous system, they say. Okay, but then you should give more priority to this because this is more false. So when the options are given like this, you must choose R is true and A is true and R is false. In case if they would have given option like this, that both assertion and reasoning are false, then that time you should choose that option. Sometimes you will have to manipulate your answer according to the options that is given and choose the option which has got more priority. Okay, they are part of SCNS. So actually Sneha, so option C is the right answer. It is a part of central nervous system, yes, but then you consider brain. When they say brain is a central nervous system, they say that brain is a central nervous system like that. It is like the one, it is the one that controls other organs also, other organs function, and it controls our reaction, our mood swings, everything. Okay, when the options are given like this, you must choose this. R is false, whereas A is true. In case if they would have asked, if they would have given that both assertion and reasoning is false, if that option were to be there, then you should choose that option. If not, then you must choose this option. Okay, clear with that? Shall we move on to the next question? Shall we move on to next question? Oh, see here, the medulla oblongata causes reflex action like vomiting, coughing and sneezing. Is this true? Is this first statement true? The reflex action, see, reflex action. Is reflex action controlled by brain? Is brain involved in reflex action first and foremost thing? Here it says medulla oblongata causes reflex action like vomiting, coughing and sneezing. See, from the medulla oblongata, the spinal cord extends. Okay, fine. But is medulla oblongata controlling the reflex action? Think about this. And reason says that it has many nerve cells that controls automatic reflex. What do you think, students? What do you think? Medulla oblongata, what is the function of medulla oblongata? Involuntary actions. It controls involuntary action, but in case of reflex action, brain is not involved. Medulla oblongata is a part of brain, it's not a part of spinal cord. So which one? Think, you have to think. You get questions like this in your board exam where they will make you get confused like anything. So you should be really careful while marking. Come on, think about this. And it says that it has many nerve cells that controls autonomic reflexes. Over here, it in the sense it is medulla oblongata. It says that medulla oblongata, it has got many nerve cells that controls autonomic reflexes. Autonomic reflexes is nothing but your involuntary action only. Come on students, which one is the right answer? Which one is the right answer? Again over here, it is option D. It is option D. Yes, medulla oblongata has got nerve cells which controls the involuntary actions, but not the reflex action. See, there is difference between reflex action and involuntary action. For involuntary action, brain is involved. In case of reflex action, it is only spinal cord, brain is not involved. Okay, so A is false, R is true, option D is the right answer. Yes, Sneha, they ask confusing questions like this. If the paper is tough, if they design difficult paper, then they will ask questions like this. You feel like everything is correct. But then you should think a lot, because see here it is clearly mentioned medulla reflex action, but then you also know that brain is not involved, brain does not control reflex action, right? So your medulla oblongata is a part of brain, it is not a part of spinal cord, keep that in mind. That's why this statement is false. Whereas yeah, medulla oblongata, it's because it has nerve cells, it controls autonomic reflexes, nothing but involuntary actions. That's why your A is completely false, whereas R is true. Okay, clear with that? Clear with that, students? We'll move on to next question. Okay, fine. So again, case study based question. Here you will have to guess the organ. Fine. So here the organ A which is located inside the skull of a body. So which is that organ? Come on, comment in the comment section. Which is the organ that is present within the skull of a body? Which it is protected by a brainy box B. What is skull also known as? What is skull also known as? What is that, proper scientific term that is used for skull? And it is surrounded by 3 membranes. What is the 3 membrane substance that is present? Yes, A is brain. Okay, what is B? And what is that 3 membrane layer which indicates C? What is that? And then the space between the membrane is filled by a liquid D. What is that liquid that protects both brain and spinal cord? Yes, the 3 membrane is meninges. What is that bony structure called as which protects the brain? Yes, it is cranium. Yes, that is cranium. Okay. What is that liquid that is also present in, a brain region as well as spinal cord, and it protects both brain and spinal cord? Which is that fluid? D, which protects the organ A from the mechanical shock, and the organ A in combination with another organ E makes up the central nervous system. So now what is E? Yes, it is cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid is D. A is brain, like you said. Along with brain, there is one more organ that makes up the central nervous system. What is that E? What is that another organ? What is that another part of central nervous system along with brain? It is spinal cord, right? Yeah, cerebrospinal fluid, okay, fine. The another part is spinal cord. Okay. Yes, right. So now here, what is A? It is brain. Option A is the right answer. Okay. What is the B? B is, it was cranium. You answered. Option B is the right answer. Okay. And then we spoke about another organ E. What was that another organ E? That was spinal cord, like you answered. Okay. And then while walking barefoot, if we happen to step on a sharp piece of stone, we immediately lift our foot up. Which of the 2 organ, R or E, is directly involved in this action? So already you have mentioned, right? Actually it is not R, student, it is A. You have told A is, what is A? A is brain. Neha. Sorry, Sneha. See, A is brain. E is spinal cord. E is spinal cord, and like we have already seen in this case study question, E is spinal cord, A is brain, right? So now here the question that they have asked is, when you are walking barefoot, Sneha, again, see, read the questions properly. Which type of movement is this? Is this involuntary movement or is this reflex action? See, because you are walking, all of a sudden you will, by mistake, yes Neha, it is reflex action. Why? Because without your knowledge you are just walking, without your knowledge you will place your feet on maybe some sharp piece. It can be pin also, not only sharp stone, it can be pin also. Immediately, without even looking at that, you will take your leg back. That is again reflex action. So in case of reflex action, which organ is involved? It is spinal cord. So E, your option B is the right answer. So it's okay, don't feel bad, be careful, be careful. Do one thing, Sneha, look at the examples for reflex action. What are all could be the examples of reflex action? Then when they ask such type of question, immediately you will get to know. When you read this condition, you will get to know, okay, it is reflex action, like that. Okay, clear with that? Next, moving on to the control and coordination in plants. Okay, so the first question is, which of the following hormone prevents water loss from plant? Which one? Option A says gibberellin, option B says naphthalene acetic acid, option C says indole acetic acid, option B says ABA is nothing but it is abscisic acid. Which of the following hormone prevents water loss from plants? Which one? Which one? Is it gibberellin? What is the function of gibberellin? The function of gibberellin is it increases the length. No idea. It is option B. Student, this question might not be asked. See, this is not there in the syllabus. This is not there in the syllabus. What is there in your syllabus is, sorry for including this question, students. This concept itself is not there in your syllabus, right? You only have auxin, gibberellin, ethylene, cytokinin and abscisic acid, right? Only from these you will get question. This is not there. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Okay, we'll move on to next question. And one more thing, students, see, gibberellin. See, what is the function of gibberellin? Let me just summarize the function of these 5 hormones. Auxin, it is involved in cell elongation. Okay, it plays major role in the overall growth of the plant. Okay, yes Neha, I got it. Those 2 hormones are not present in the syllabus for you. So don't worry about it. You won't get such type of questions. Okay, see, auxin, it is involved in cell elongation. Okay, and then comes gibberellin. Gibberellin, it plays important role in increasing the length of the region that is present between the nodes. Okay, and then ethylene is a gaseous hormone which plays important role in fruit ripening, and it also plays important role in dormancy also. Yes Neha, abscisic acid is the right answer. Okay, like what is the function of abscisic acid? You get to see in older leaf, it is a growth inhibitor and it causes the shedding of leaf and fruits and all that. Okay, and then cytokinins, they play important role in cell division. And over here, which of the following hormone causes shedding of leaf and fruit? It is abscisic acid. Okay, clear with that? Shall we move on to next question? Okay, which of the following movement involves opening and closing of flower? Opening and closing of flower. Is it nastic movement, or is it tropic movement, or is it mutation, or is it autonomic movement? Which movement involves opening and closing of stomata, opening and closing of the flowers? Sorry students, opening and closing of flowers, which one is that? Is it tropic movement, or is it nastic, or is it mutation, or is it autonomic movement? Which one? Come on, comment in the comment section. Which one is the right answer? Think. Sneha, option B. Are you sure with what? No, it's not tropic movement. It's not tropic movement. Tropic movement, it is, see, it's not even mutation. Mutation is if there is some mistake in gene, then it is mutation. It is not tropic movement. Tropic movement is, see, it is a type of movement that is caused because of some stimulus. And if the plant moves towards that stimulus, then it is tropic movement. But then opening and closing of the, flowers, are you sure with that? Are you sure with that? Is it tropic movement? Some plants show, yes, plants show tropism. For example, shoot, it grows towards the availability of it grows towards the light. Positive phototropism. Root, against the gravity, negative geotropism. Sorry, roots towards the gravity, it is positive geotropism. Whereas shoot, it grows, nothing but the stem, it grows against the gravity, which is negative geotropism. So there is phototropism, where the movement is caused by sunlight. Geotropism, the movement is caused by gravity. And then chemotropism, the movement is caused by chemicals. Okay, for example, pollen grains and all that. And then there is one more, thigmotropism. Here the movement is triggered by solid surface. For example, climbers. Climbers, they move towards, see, if they get the support, only then they will twist around that support and they grow. Okay, so there is phototropism and then hydrotropism. Fifth one is hydrotropism, the movement towards water. For example, the root, it grows towards the water, right, wherever the water is available. So that is positive hydrotropism. That is tropic movement. Whereas your flower, see, daytime they will be open, night times they, bend a bit. Do you think it is trophic movement or nastic movement? Which one? It is not mutation. It is not mutation. Plants show tropism. Yes. Plants, every plant shows tropism. Come on, are you sure with this? Which one is the right answer? Which one, students? It is option A. Okay, so we'll move on to next question. Which of the following involves growth movement of plants or plant part towards the soil? Towards the soil. Is it hydrotropism or is it geotropism? Is it thigmotropism or is it phototropism? Which one? Which one? See, it is moving towards the soil, nothing but it is in the direction of the what? See, so is it geotropism or hydrotropism? See, soil contains water. Soil contains, yes, nastic is the right answer. Okay, here, see, it is not phototropism. It is not thigmotropism. You should think if the plant part towards the soil, if it grows towards the soil means downward. The soil will have water also, it contains water, right? And the other one is geotropism is towards the gravity. Which one do you think in this case? Yes, it is geotropism, because here they are not talking about water. They are just telling that it is moving in the direction that is towards the soil. So soil, it is present, below the ground level, right? It goes down, right? See, there gravity, it is towards the gravity. So it is geotropism. Yes, geotropism is the right answer, because in the question nowhere they have mentioned about water. So simply to confuse, they will ask questions like this if it is towards soil. That's why to confuse only I told you that okay, soil will have water also. So what do you think like that? So it is actually geotropism. Geotropism is the right answer. Okay. Next, assertion and reasoning type of question. The effect of auxin. The effect of auxin hormone on the growth of root is extremely opposite to that of a stem. The effect of auxin hormone on the growth of root is extremely opposite to that on the stem. And then auxin hormone, it increases the rate of growth in root and decreases the rate of growth in stem. Which one do you think is the right answer? Which one? See, this is false. Now the effect of auxin hormone on the growth of the root is exactly opposite to that on the stem. Growth of the root. So here what happened? Yes, it is opposite. See, in stem, the auxin has got positive effect, whereas in root it has got negative effect. So the effect of auxin in root and shoot, it is opposite. It is opposite. So that is true. Whereas here it does not increases the rate of growth in root. Instead it will increase in the stem. So the second statement is false. R is false and A is true. A is true but R is false. C is the right answer. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. See, auxin are in the growing tip of plant. Okay. Auxin concentration is highest at the tip of the root. Auxins are present in the growing tip of the plant. Okay, fine. They are present in, auxins are present in shoot tip and root tip, but auxin concentration is highest at the root tip, at the tip of the root. Is that true? Is that true? What about second statement? Yes. Option C is the right answer. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. Okay. So it is case study based question. Let me read this once. See, your plant do not have nervous system and sense organs like eyes, ears or nose, etc. like the animals, but they can still sense things. Yes, the plant can sense the presence of stimuli like light, gravity, chemical, water, touch, etc. and they respond also, right. The plant can sense things like light, gravity, chemicals, water, okay, they can sense by the action of hormone, The stimuli like light, gravity, chemical, water, touch, they are called as environmental changes. So we can also say that the plants coordinate their behavior against the environmental changes by using hormones. And then the hormone in plant coordinate the behavior by affecting the growth of a plant. Okay, and effect on growth of plant can result in movement of the part of plant like shoot or stem. Okay, so this is talking about the hormonal coordination in plant. Okay, so now let's see the questions. Let's see the type of questions that has been asked from this case study. Any change in the environment to which an organism responds is called as any change. So is it stimulus or coordination, response or hormone? Which one is the right answer? Which one? It is stimulus. Whenever there is any change in the environment to which an organism responds is called, that change is stimulus. Okay, so next question. Roots of plants are, the root, it grows towards soil, right? It grows in the direction of gravity. So is it positive geotropism or is it negative geotropism or is it positive phototrophic or none of this? This is not the right answer. This is also not the right answer. So is it positive or negative? Option A or option B? Yes, stimulus is the right answer for the previous question. So now which is the right answer for this question? What is the right answer for this question? Yes, it is positive geotropism. Yes. Now the movement of sunflower in accordance with the path of the sun is called, is it positive, is it phototropism, geo, chemo or hydro? It is, yes, phototropism, you all know, right? And then, so now we will solve question from this endocrine gland parts. Okay, so now where is thyroid gland located in the human body? Where is it located in the human body? It says it is attached to the ventral side of the brain. Which one? Thyroid gland. And option B says it is located behind the larynx in the neck. It is located near heart. Krishu, are you sure? Are you sure with option C? Option D says it is located in the abdominal cavity. Which one? Where is thyroid gland? Thyroid gland. Krishu, are you sure with that? It is located near heart or is it located behind the larynx in the neck? Krishu, option C is not right. It's wrong. It is B. B is the right answer. Okay. Next question. Read the given information and identify the glands. Okay. Now, secreted by endocrine gland that is located at the top of the kidney. Which is that gland that is present at the top of the kidney? And the deficiency can cause Addison's disease. So, now students, come on, comment in the comment section that which gland is present on top of the kidney. Is it parathyroid gland, is it pituitary gland, or is it thyroid gland, or is it adrenal gland? Which gland is present above the kidney? Which one? Which one? Yes, it is adrenal. Option A is the right answer. So next question, which of the following hormone plays an important function in embryo implantation? In the implantation of the embryo, is it testosterone or is it insulin or is it prolactin or is it progesterone? Which is playing important role in the implantation of the embryo. Which hormone is that? Option A says testosterone, B says insulin, C says prolactin, and then it is, yes, it is D, it is progesterone. Option D is the right answer. Okay. Which of the following is a heteroserine gland? Which one? Is it pituitary or heterocrine gland? Is it pituitary? Is it adrenaline? Is it pancreas or thyroid? Which of the following is heterocrine gland? Heterocrine. Is it pituitary or is it adrenal, pancreas or thyroid? Okay, let me make it easy for you. It is not D, it is not B. Is it pituitary or pancreas? Which one? Pituitary? Are you sure? Are you sure? See, here, yes, yes. See here, when I say it behaves like both endocrine and exocrine. It is pancreas. It is pancreas which is behaving like both. See, hetero is nothing but something that is different. See, homo means same, hetero means two different, something like that, okay. So here it clearly says heterocrine gland which behaves like both endocrine and exocrine gland. Okay, Sneha, here the gland, so yes, Krishu, option C is the right answer. Why? Because pancreas, it secretes digestive enzyme also, that is pancreatic juice. The digestive enzyme, it is released into the, where? The cavity, the body cavity, near the duodenum part, the entrance of the small intestine. Okay. Whereas, what about hormone? Are hormones secreted into, are they released into the open cavity or into the bloodstream? It is, hormones are released into bloodstream. That's why it is endocrine gland. Whereas exocrine means it is not, it does not get mixed with the blood. It is not released into bloodstream. Instead, it is secreted or it is released into the body cavity. Okay, they are exocrine gland. Whereas endocrine glands, the hormones that are secreted by endocrine glands are released into the bloodstream. Okay, so pancreas, it secretes digestive enzyme also, nothing but it releases pancreatic juice which has got trypsin, lipase and amylase. Okay. On the other hand, the pancreas, it also secretes hormone, nothing but insulin. Insulin and one more hormone, which is that one more hormone? Glucagon. Insulin, it reduces the blood sugar level, whereas glucagon, it increases the blood sugar level. That's why pancreas is the right answer, which behaves like both endocrine and exocrine. Okay. So now assertion and reasoning type of question, right? So here the failure of secretion of growth hormone from an early age causes dwarfism in the patient. Yes. And then the growth hormone stimulates the body growth and elongation of long bones. So come on students, are both the statement true? Are both the statement true? If it is true, whether the given statement, whether that is the right explanation for the above? Come on, comment in the comment section. Yes, option A is the right answer. The failure of secretion of growth hormone from an early age causes dwarfism in patient. Why? Because growth hormone is the one that stimulates the body growth and elongation of the long bones. If this itself doesn't function properly, then it causes dwarfism. So, option A. Option A is the right answer. Okay, so the next question. See, exocrine glands are also known as ductless glands. Thyroid gland directly pours its secretion, that is thyroxine, into the blood. See, this statement is true. Okay. What about the above statement? What about the above statement? More secretion leads to, yes, gigantism. Yes. Where the person grows abnormally. Yes, that is right. Now look at this question. Whether both the statements are true. Rashmi says B. Both are true, but R is not the right explanation for the above. Yes, it is right. So option B is the right answer. Yes. Next. So there is case study based, case based study questions. Let me read this for you once. Okay. See, the hormones are the chemical substances that is secreted in very small amount by specialized tissue in the body that is called as endocrine gland. Okay. These hormones coordinate the activities of living organism and also their growth. Okay. The hormones are made inside the body of an organism in a very small amount. They are secreted in small amount by the endocrine glands and are poured directly into the blood and carried throughout the body by the blood circulation system. Yes. And then the hormones have their effects at the site different from the site where they were made. You all know that. They act on specific tissues or organ. Yes, true. So this is all about the endocrine gland, introduction part kind of stuff. So now let's see the questions that has been asked from this. Which of the following endocrine gland is unpaired? Is it adrenal, or is it testis, or is it pituitary, or is it ovary? Which of the endocrine gland is unpaired? Unpaired. Is it adrenal, or is it testis? Is it pituitary gland, or is it ovary? Which one? Come on, I want you all to think really very carefully and then answer to this question. Which gland is unpaired? C. Pituitary? Pituitary? Yes. Yes, it is. It is pituitary. It is pituitary which is unpaired. Option C. So, option C is the right answer. Okay. Next question. Dramatic changes of body features associated with the puberty are mainly because of the secretion of, option A says, estrogen from the testes. Estrogen from the testes, is it? And the testosterone from the ovary. No, this is wrong. Option B says estrogen from adrenal gland and testosterone from pituitary gland. Option C says testosterone from the testes and estrogen from the ovary. Option D says testosterone from the thyroid gland and estrogen from the pituitary. So, okay, option C is the right answer. Okay, so next, answer the following. I want you all to answer to this. Which hormone is responsible for the changes that is noticed in female at puberty? And then dwarfism results due to the deficiency of which hormone? Come on, comment in the comment section. The blood sugar level, it rises due to the deficiency of which hormone, and iodine is necessary for the synthesis of which hormone? Which hormone? So, which is the first one? Which hormone is responsible for the changes that is noticed in female at puberty? Which hormone is that? Is that estrogen or progesterone? Is it estrogen or progesterone? Come on, comment in the comment section. Answer for A. Dwarfism results due to the deficiency of which of the hormone? Yes, Rashmi, it is estrogen. Okay, and then dwarfism results due to deficiency in growth hormone. And then the blood sugar level, it increases due to the deficiency in which? Insulin. Yes. And then iodine is necessary for the synthesis of thyroxine. Yes, Krishu. Yes. It is the right answer. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, students, this is it for today's session. Okay, we have solved some of the competency based questions from both the chapter life processes and control and coordination. Okay. This is it for today's session. And what do you want to be for your next session? What do you want, student? Do you want anything from geography or do you want from biology? Yes, students, yes, correct. What should I make? Like in the next session, what do you want? Let me consider your suggestions. You want me to do some more competency based questions from biology? You are welcome, Krishu. So in the next session, what do you want me to do? Or do you want me to summarize any of the chapter? Or do you want the video of some chapters in just 20 minutes or 30 minutes? What do you want? Any suggestion, students? Do you have any suggestion? So that I'll do accordingly. Okay. We want diagram based questions from bio. Okay, we'll do that. Minerals and energy resource. Okay, Rashmi, you want me to do mineral and energy resource from geography? Okay, I'll do that. Fine. We want diagram based questions from bio. Okay, Krishu, noted, we'll do that. Do you have any other doubts or you want some other? Are you all able to download the notes from the link that is given? Transportation in heart is a confusing topic. I will make a video on that, Krishu, transportation in heart. I'll make a video on that. Already I have explained, Krishu, in the life process chapter. I have divided the chapter into two parts. In the playlist it is there. I have given a detailed explanation. You can check that. Somewhere in between I have explained the transportation in heart. You can check that. I guess life process part 2. In part 2 I have explained transportation. You can check that, okay. And I will make another 10 minutes or 15 minutes video on that as well. Okay. So yeah, this is it for today's session, students. Okay. So yeah, I'll come up in geography, I'll come up with that chapter. That is, okay, I've watched that. Okay, fine. I'll come up with